Yeah, for me, I had that seeking. I don't know if any of you can relate, but since childhood, like I can remember seeking one kind of, this sounds funny, but I kind of wondered when I would see people that looked genuinely happy, it was almost like a magic trick to me. Like, how do you do that?
Wow.
How is this okay? How is everything okay? Because something inside didn't feel okay. Something inside felt this isn't it. Right? So as soon as there's this isn't it, then the seeking. So what is the seeking? What is actually going on there?
I think it's an undercurrent of dissatisfaction, like an undercurrent. It could be very subtle that wherever you are, there's looking for something better. And it's always an uneasiness that's kind of there.
Right. Now here's the interesting part. Who or what is making that claim?
Well, at the time that when I first started noticing this, there was only one instance, and I'm going to say it was the voice in my head. There wasn't like different options. It was just like something is missing, and I won't be happy until I find it. And
Yeah.
in my case, I have just a very brief anecdote that has to do with Los Angeles. I was in Switzerland at the time, in the end of the 70s, and there was this Los Angeles guy, Arthur Janoff, who the founder of the primal therapy. He said, if you follow the protocol that I've put together, you'll be there. He called it the post-neurotic patient. It's a little different, but same model. I thought there's something wrong, and if I follow the right protocol, it's going to be all great afterwards.
Yeah, but it never works. That's what eventually has to hit you, is that the seeking doesn't work. I mean, like 100% of the, at 100% it doesn't work. It has. Why? Because what is seeking is a thought.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So that's what is mistaken for me when I think I'm that thought. So in a way, we could say that seeking is a thought chasing a thought. A thought that I'm here, and a thought that something else will improve this. So is that a separate self or a thought?
I think the thoughts are like, the way I would describe it, it's kind of like a flip book. It's like the thoughts, you then begin to, it creates the illusion of a self as each thought. It's like, if anybody knows what the flip books are, you flip through it and it looks like a toad is going into a frog or something, whatever it's going to be. And it looks like movement, but in actuality, thought after thought after thought, or the energy of the thoughts creates the illusion of a self. But
Well, what does that got to do with you?
there's no you. it what does it have to do? Well, there is no you.
And who cares about thoughts?
That's a good point, because at that point, if there's thoughts, there's just thoughts.
Well, there do appear to be thoughts, but we're noticing that if I think I'm a something rather than just a thought, so the thought appeared, I'm hungry, versus I think I am the, that originated from me. Like I'm a separate, real, independent object that produced that thought. Or is your experience that thoughts just appear in space? You can't even find them. You've never seen a thought. You've never touched a thought.
They're thoughting, or it's a wearing, or it's just there's awareness. It's not really separate, but at times it may feel like it's separate.
Yeah, absolutely. So however it's showing up is just what's happening.
Yep.
So this is why Nkosi, when he was working with Alice, instructed her to not think whether or not there's a me there, but to look.
But I think that because he also says there's no table or no chair. And I can't touch a thought, but I can touch a table and I can touch a chair.
Well, the label calls it a chair.
Mm. Yeah.
And nothing wrong, as Nkosi would also say, nothing wrong with that. Labels are just labels. They're not good or bad. They're just an imagined limitation. Oh, that's a chair. So it's taking the wholeness and sort of drawing a little circle in this one little area and saying, okay, it's in this shape, we're going to call it a chair. But the problem with all labels is they break down. Because they need a belief. You need someone to believe it's a chair. A baby doesn't believe it's a chair. So this apparent Zoom meeting is just the possibility that the beliefs can crumble under their own weight. You don't do anything. It just becomes obvious that there's no you there, and it's just thoughts and feelings, and everything is just coming and going all by itself.
And so even even the word thought is a sorry, even the word thought is a label too.
Yeah, very good, Faith. Because so that's a really right. So when we even say the word thought, what exactly, very good, is that pointing to?
Mm.
So as a me, the labels are very serious. They're very real, and they're very serious. And there's some labels I agree with, and some I don't, and some I don't care about.
So Michael, behind every label, would you say behind every label is a belief?
Well, they're kind of, it would be hard to separate the two, right? But it's a great question, right? But so just like everything else, no one's doing the labels. So no one's doing anything. When you look at the screen, no one's saying Zoom meeting. It's just, hi Nkosi, welcome.
Hi, Michael. Hello, everyone.
I was talking about your instructions to Alice, instructing her not to not think, but rather to look for that one.
Yeah. Well, anyway, uh, yeah.
You look,
Yeah.
but you don't find. If you look, but if you think, you can think forever. The thoughts can just come, I'm this, I'm not this, this, that, and the other. But your instruction wasn't to don't think about it. Look for the separate me.
Yeah, because you know, an imagination, as I always say, an imagination, what seems to be an imagination, cannot know anything, cannot understand anything, cannot get anything. So a separate me is just an appearance in this, it's just an imagination. So it cannot get anything, cannot know anything, because it's just an imagination, it's just an appearance in this. So when you look, it's not that there is somebody who's looking. It's just this looking. So an imagination may appear, but this has got nothing to say about that. It's just an appearance. It doesn't mean anything. So that's what I was trying to convey. That's there's just seeing, but nobody is seeing. An appearance may appear, an imagination, a thought construct, a voice in the head may appear, but it doesn't mean anything. It's just a voice in the head. It's just an imagination. The attention may seem to go out and engage with what's appearing. But when that attention is kept in that seeing, then it is seen that there's nothing going on. It's just an appearance. It doesn't mean anything. So this doesn't mind. This just doesn't mind. So already there's nothing happening. There's nothing happening unless a thought says, oh, something is happening. But here it is seen as just an appearance. It doesn't mean anything. It's not taken seriously. Yet this is beyond words. It's beyond any description. It's beyond any explanation. This cannot be said. This cannot be understood. Because all there is this. There is no one who's outside who can understand this and get this. So this cannot be taught. Who can be taught this? So here there's no teacher. And there are no students. It's just this. Sometimes you may use concepts just to describe what cannot be described. At times I would like talk as if I'm talking to somebody, but it is seen, yet it is seen here that there is no one here. That's okay. There's nothing wrong or right with anything. So there is only ever this. This has got no intention to make anyone know it, because there is no one here. This doesn't try to convince what seems to be an individual, because what seems to be an individual is just an imagination. It's just an appearance in this. It's just this as well. So there's really nothing to do. There's really nothing to do. Whatever may happen, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. This doesn't mind what's happening or what seems to be happening, because nothing is happening here. So here, this doesn't know anything, doesn't claim to know how the universe was formed. This doesn't know anything. There's only what's appearing. There's only what's appearing. And what seems to be happening right now has got nothing to do with except what seems to be an imagination or a separate person. This is just happening for no one, to no one. So no one is listening. No one is understanding anything. No one is not understanding anything. No one is getting anything here because it's just this. So nothing's happening already. There's no doer. It's just this. And this is going nowhere. It may seem that it's going somewhere in its own imagination as a separate individual. But in actual fact, it's going nowhere. This doesn't move. So the movement may seem to happen in its own imagination. As somebody's husband, wife, living life. There's just this. There's no husband, there's no wife here. There are no children. There are no human beings. There's no world, there's no universe. There's just this. And this is nothing that seems to appear as everything. It appears to no one and for no one. That's what's coming up here now.
Yeah, beautiful. So that's just resonance, 100% resonance. If what just was shared by no one resonates with no one.
I have a question. So there's nothing here and nothing here except in the imagination. And so the question I have is this imagination, what is the source of the imagination?
Everything is this. Even what seems to be an imagination is just this appearing as that. So there's no source, but everything is this. All there is this. There's nothing outside of this. So it's just everything that is seen. It's just this appearing as that. So this cannot be understood as if like when you are reading a novel or a book. This is just a matter of resonance. No, if to resonate, something resonates. Because these cannot be understood. Because the one who's trying to understand it is already not there. It's just an imagination. Those thoughts are nothing but this. Any question arising or an answer given is just this appearing as that. So everything is this. So there's no you who's asking the question. And there's no me who's giving an answer. Because all there is this. This cannot be known because there's no one to know it. This cannot be understood because there isn't anyone here. It's just this. Any direction that might be taken right now is just this. So there's no escape here. You can't go wrong or right with this. The thinker thoughts is already not there. There's no one thinking thoughts. There's just thoughts appearing. Somebody may say, but I'm thinking. That's a thought too.
So could we then just say that if I could say the energy of seeking is just the energy of seeking. It's just this. So nothing to do about it.
Exactly. Yeah, this is going nowhere. It's just here. Everything is this.
It's
So I can
almost,
say, okay, sorry, then go ahead.
I was just going to say, it's almost like we quote unquote look at seeking as a problem or something to get rid of, but no need to. It's just seeking, and it's a relaxation. There's nothing has to be done about it. It's there if it's there, and if it's not, it's not.
Yes. And it belongs to no one. It's just what's happening.
could say that the seeking is a problem for the seeker, but the seeker and the seeking are the same thing. They're both the same imagination. This seeking energy and this seeker they're both the same appearance, and everything is the same appearance, just appearing to no one. But it has nothing to do with us. Doesn't have any more meaning than anything else. Then
Well, it is this.
yeah, that's how this is appearing to appear. Maybe.
Another thing, Nkosi, that you spoke about, Taos, that caught my attention was the okayness, the sense of okayness that pervades everything, even when it looks like it's not okay.
Yeah, here everything is okay. So what seems to be everyone is already okay. It's already okay. Because everything is just an expression of this. It's just this. So there is no separate, there is no individual here who's suffering, who's going through difficulties in life. It's just this. The one who's okay, who's living a good life, the one who's living a bad life, it's just this appearing as that. So there's no separation here. Everything is this. So no one has ever said anything. No one has ever done anything. Because there's no one here. It's just this. It's just wholeness. Everything. It's everything asking a question. It's everything giving an answer. It's everything confused. Everything wondering. So there's wholeness here. There's no one here. Doesn't matter what anyone may seem to say, because there's no one here. It's just wholeness, everything. So everything is okay, because there's no separate individual. And what seems to be a separate individual is going nowhere, because it doesn't exist. So everything is this. Whether it may seem good or bad, everything is this.
I have a question. What would you say that it really, what does it to exist really mean to you? What is your definition of exist?
I think when you say something exists, it means there's a separation there. You know? But when you say there's just existence, so there isn't any separation. So this doesn't exist. It's existence itself.
Hmm.
yet words cannot describe this. This is beyond words. Yet words are it as well.
Well, exist really is the word that comes from Latin, and it means to stand out. Like it's an idea of something standing out from something else. So it's exactly as Nkosi just said, it means a division. It's an idea of two things, one thing standing out. So something that stands out from everything we say it exists. But that's just a way of telling a story, because there isn't anything here that's standing out from anything else. It's just all this. So exist is a story. It's a story about things standing out and becoming separate. So we can talk about them. I mean, it's a useful idea, but it's really just imagined. It's an imagined idea. So you could say nothing exists really, but then you also could say that things exist just as they are, as they appear. Separate appearances you could say they stand out or they exist in, as themselves, as the appearance.
I was thinking as existence.
Mm-hmm. Right. Well, so existence means everything, right?
Right.
But the word itself means standing out. So can everything just stand out from what would it be standing out from? Yeah. But in a way, that's kind of that's the way it's used, like existence is standing out from nothingness or something.
Right.
Yeah. But you can see how that's all conceptual. Because or you can look into it and see whether what you see. But what we're saying here is pointing out to the fact that these separations really come from what we're calling imagination. They aren't right here as this, whatever this is. It's not something standing out from something else. It's just, well, you could say it's nothing. Appearing as standing out things or appearing as an existence that stands out. But that's really, really a concept, a way of talking. And that's why there's no me. There can't be a me because there's no me. Me is really an idea of something standing out. I'm standing out from the world and I'm separate. But that isn't what's here. There's nothing separate. Except in words and ideas and stories. So the world was never created. That was a big myth. It was a rumor, but it's never happened. Although maybe it's appearing to happen every moment. The world is appearing to be created. And this question of existence is really a big question for me. I want to know what exists. I want to know, and I want to know everything about all the whatever it is that exists, because I want to know how to use it. Because me has a big project of using the world to get complete. But there isn't anything to do. There's no getting complete. There's nothing incomplete. But for me, it's important to know all these things so it can help me with my project of doing.
So it can be noticed that so far, all the doing hasn't led to a shred of peace. It can just dawn on no one that the seeking doesn't actually do anything. There's an old magic trick. I'm going to let you guys in on a magic trick, even though we're not supposed to give away our secrets. You take a key, and in the top of the key, right, there's a little hole in the top of the key so you can put it on a keychain. And you take that key with the hole and you press it against your finger really hard for about a minute. And what happens is when you take it off, there's a red little ring with a white circle in your finger. And the gag is you pretend like you take a cigarette that's not lit. And you say, but look, I can actually will myself to be burned. And you touch the cigarette and you turn your finger over and they see the red, and it's convincing. It really looks, and people gasp, oh my God, look at that red mark he's got. And then you rub it and it disappears because it was never burned. You rub it back into the skin and the skin goes back to the way it was, and it looks like the burn disappears. So nothing actually happened. It was all done with smoke and mirrors. It was all done with story. So there's no disputing, it can be very convincing, the story. Just like the burn can look super real. You can fall for it. But you can also, after falling for it 10,000 times, I don't know. I just don't know.
Okay, so an example. I'm sitting here processing or doing whatever is going on. There's a thought that says at 7 o'clock, I'm going to walk my dog because she needs to go out. That's me having a thought, or the way I'm processing it. But you're saying that's just occurring. That's just happening. And then at 7 o'clock, more than likely, this body will take the dog out. And the part I'm getting stuck on is that what I'm hearing is I have no say in that. The me, because there is no me. So I have no say. And so I'm trying to figure out what is it that is knowing that this dog needs to go out. What is that and how does that, and so if I didn't think about it at all, it would just arise.
Well, Don, why don't you try that experiment and see what happens?
What's the,
Well, don't think about it and see if your dog gets walked. Well, the idea, though, is that the dog is going to get walked or not get walked, and it will appear however it does. And that doesn't have anything to do with there being a separate Don somewhere that's making decisions and thinking, you know, behind all of this. Everything's happening. And you could ask the same question about anything that's going on, because everything's going on together, you know?
Speaking from experience, I can say that walking dogs either happens or doesn't happen, no matter what the intent is. Like the thought can be there, oh, the dog needs to go out. And then the next thing you know, you're actually not walking the dog and the dog has gone to the bathroom in the house. So to Dan's point, just let it, whatever happens is going to happen. Because this is all there is.
You can say it's already happened. Like there's a really great word I think about when this topic comes up in Sanskrit, which is Chujan. It's TZU-JAN, and it loosely means spontaneity. It's sort of the spontaneity of a plant growing, right? It just grows according to its own accord. And so when I hear questions like that, Don, which is a cool question, I always think of Chujan. It's all happening spontaneously, whatever it is. You can say it's this, right? But it's spontaneous. It is already happening. Hey, I got already in there. Hey.
Wow, it's 2 for 1.
Nkosi. And Peter.
So here already was heard as freedom. Freedom. Because if there's already not a me there, already.
Also, just want to add that I think the thought, Don, about whether you're walking the dog or not is sort of, that's the duality, as opposed to it's already happening. So the mind wants to think about the different scenarios, but You could say that it already is happening, whatever it is. Either way, it's already happening, and it's always already happening.
You say me doesn't need for it to be happening.
Say it again.
Where's the dog?
Me doesn't need to be there for it to be happening.
Exactly. That dog is looking at you, Don, like you best get the leash and let's get cracking. And you don't need a me there, right, Don? You don't need a me there to get it. It's just obvious. So that's here you go, Peter. We can end with this. It's just what's effortless and obvious. It's obvious the dog wants to go on the leash. So here we go.
Beautiful.
Thank you guys, each and every one of you for coming this evening. In Nkosi, brother, thank you as always so much. Have a great night, everybody.
See you guys.
Night, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.